Hey guys, it's Maymay and it's time for another scripture art journal week. We are so close to finishing this out. This year is just really flying by. It's already the first week of November. I can't even believe it. But this week's scripture is from Colossians 3:12 and it says, "Therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourself with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience." I just don't see how you can go wrong if you do that. Whether you are a believer or not, I just don't see how you can go wrong if you are compassionate and you are kind and you're humble and you practice gentleness and patience. So many times we need that with everyone in our life, from our children to our elderly parents to our neighbors to the stranger we meet on the street. If we could put on every day those characteristics and live in this world together, oh, what an amazing place it would be. But we have to start somewhere. So sometimes we just have to start with ourselves. And we've been doing a Bible study, actually a book together, so a book study on a book called A Love Worth Giving by Max Lucado. And this week's topic was patience. And I thought that was really interesting that this is the scripture I got this week. So kind of cool. And I was like, I really want to just play around with this scripture and see what I can do. So I came into my craft room and I started looking, and I forgot all about this. And I want to show you how perfect this is. So a long time ago, I purchased this stamp set from Tuesday Morning, and I have never even taken it out of the package. And when I was thinking about this scripture, I thought, you know what? This is perfect for it. And I want to use it on this side of my page to talk about clothing ourselves. So I don't know how I'm going to lay it out yet. I don't really have a plan. We're just going to go and see what happens. But I want to challenge you guys to work diligently to put on those characteristics that are spoken of in Colossians. So many times we walk through life, and sometimes I feel really bad. Like, think about this. You go into a store and you don't have your patience or your humility or your kindness on just right that day. And somebody does something that just kind of gets on you and you react in a way that's really not who you are. I have done that before, and then I feel so bad and I want to fix it, and sometimes I don't know how to fix it. And so I want to try to put those characteristics on every day so I don't have to think about how to fix those things. So I can know that I did the right thing in the moment. So think about that as you study this week. That might come in handy for you. And I want to be able to walk away from every situation knowing that I handled it correctly and with humility and with gentleness and with patience. And I just want to make sure that I try to do that correctly. So maybe this will be a good scripture to help us remember that this week. I'm going to ink up only the clothing. I'm not going to ink up the hat, and I'm not pulling this off of the backer because I do not have a stamp block quite this big. It would almost fit in my MISTI, and it might be really, really close. But I thought, you know what? I can do this and just not ink up the other pieces next to it, and I should be able to get a pretty good image. I'm going to make sure I don't have any ink on those pieces there. And I'm going to flip this guy over. Now I'm really being brave because I want to be able to see through here. And I'm going to put it onto my page like so. Remember, it's just paper. If I mess it up, I can redo it or change it or what have you. Just rub this down into place. Lift it up. Look how cool that looks. I love that so much. I'm so glad that that was brought back to my memory that I had it. I think I'm going to pull out some markers. And I know I'm coloring on orange paper, but I think it'll look really cool. So let me get some Spectrum Noirs. So I've just pulled out some, they're kind of earth tone colors. That's kind of what I'm feeling today. So this one is EB8, and I'm not doing anything fancy. I'm not going to shade. I'm just going to color this image like a coloring book page. I think that'll be neat. Kind of end up like, almost like we drew the picture of a man in his clothes on this side. And then we're going to put the scripture on the page with it. So I got it all colored in, and I think I want to go back with my white pen and do some kind of designs. I'm not really sure. I just think it needs a pop of color because it's a little flat on the page. So maybe I'll just treat this like a highlighting pen and just kind of come in and add some lightness here and there. So I added the white just almost kind of cartoon-like. I thought that was kind of cool. And now I'm trying to decide if I want to write on the clothing or over to the side. I think to the side. I'm going to come over here, and I'm not going to write the scripture exactly. I'm going to write clothe yourself, and I'm going to start that here. Then I'm going to script right with a little dot. And then each of the words. So we're going to start with compassion. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do some playing. I'm just going to doodle. I don't know what's going to happen. We're just going to play along. So in my doodling, I decided that I want this to kind of pop a little more on this side to be more the focal point. So I'm going around it with the white pen and kind of mimicking the edge of the stamp with this kind of broken like line, because it's not like a perfect line, it's kind of like a cartoony line like I mentioned, but I want it to really pop, so I'm going to highlight it or outline it in white. So I really like that now with that pop of white behind it. I think that's really cool how that kind of pops. Love it. I kind of wish I'd have done that and not done this, but I'm not going to stress about it. I like it. It's good. That's what journaling is. It's just for having fun, and I did have fun doing it. So I'm going to put this into my book. Oh, look how much that bled through. That's funny. And I'm going to call that one done. I like it. I really love how that looks with the white behind the clothes. The clothing. So I've glued that into the book, and I'm going to call that one done. I love how the white makes the clothing pop. And then just this reminder over here for me to clothe myself in compassion and kindness and humility and gentleness and patience. I think it's really important for us, you know, believer or not, I think it's important that we try to be nice and we try to be thoughtful of other people. So I hope this speaks to you today. If this is your first time joining us for our scripture art journaling, we do this every week. Head over to our Facebook group, which is called Hide His Word in My Heart, and get involved in some more good stuff that we have going on over there. Thanks so much for watching today, guys. See you next week. Bye-bye.